promoting your music through Instagram can feel like it's difficult sometimes. I mean, you never know what to post on your feed, you never know what to post on your stories, and you don't want to just share your link constantly and tell people to check it out. So, what should you be posting and how should you be promoting your music on Instagram in order to get the most amount of views, likes, and streams as possible? Let's talk about it.
You know that we coming liars. I'ma keep praying to Gaia. Tell those little niggas stop it. Tell my mama that I got this. You know that we coming liars.
What's going on? It's Pimp Fried Rice, and welcome to the Music into Millions podcast, where we give independent rappers the tools and resources needed to be successful without having to wait on a record label. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about Instagram, and I actually want to talk about 4 different ways that you can promote your music via Instagram. That's not the traditional way to typically promote your music. So now when people usually think about, promoting your music via Instagram, it's like, posting on your feed or using stories, and basically they just, whether it be posting the cover art to the song, or maybe the snippet of the music video, or maybe just like the little audio file that everybody uses, you know what I'm talking about, where there's like the little wave picture, and then it's just pretty much them listening and screen recording. Those are all okay ways to promote your music, but there's definitely better ways that you can promote your music. And like I said, today I want to talk about 4 ways that are the non-traditional ways that you can start to apply right now that's going to make you stand out amongst all the other rappers. And if you stick around to the end, you're going to be promoting your music on a whole nother level. So the first way I want to talk about is through using lives. But obviously, people use lives all the time. But I want to talk about using lives as a listening party. And now, so basically, whenever you have a project coming out, whether that be, a whole album, whether that be a single, whether that be a music video dropping, it doesn't matter. Use lives as an opportunity to connect with your fans and with your community and to share the music. Get an initial reaction from people, maybe give them a little bit of a sneak peek. You can do the live listening party before the song or project actually drops. But basically what I mean by live listening party, if you don't know, is I'm talking about basically just hop on live, have the song or project that you're about to be dropping basically on a good pair of speakers or on a nice, TV screen if maybe you're showing a music video. And all you're doing is literally just let the song play through, let the album play through, ask people for feedback as you're going, get their natural reactions, talk to them, allow them to respond to you in the comments of the live, because then what you're doing is you're not just putting your song out into the world like, all right, make sure you go check this out, enjoy it, you can give people like the behind the scenes, like, hey, this is, before a song comes on, you can be like, this is what I was thinking of when I wrote it, this was, what was going through my head, this is why I wrote it, this is kind of the message I'm trying to portray through it, or maybe it's just a banger and you just want to turn up the whole time and let your fans just watch you completely vibe out while you're sitting there, drinking, dancing, having a good time. All of that is another way that you can use to connect with your fans. But by using live as a listening party, and make it an event, make it something special. Don't just hop on live, put your camera in front of you and just sit there for a couple hours. I mean, that's perfectly fine as well. That's its own thing. But make it a little event, make it fun. Have a flyer to promote it. Do it once a week, once every 2 weeks. Make it something that fans look forward to, and it's something more than just, scrolling through and seeing your song or video on their feed. And now the second way that you can promote your music in a non-traditional way is through, and I actually just thought about this one when I was kind of coming up with this episode, so I haven't personally used it yet, but I am most certainly gonna use it because it's actually a pretty lit idea. I don't know that I've seen anyone else do it. So you guys are actually the first ones getting this sauce, so hopefully you take advantage and we can start a whole new wave of promotion. But basically it's using highlights to almost make like a mini documentary of a song that you create. So like as you're in the studio, whether it be writing the lyrics, recording the song, sitting there with the producer, or maybe you're the producer cooking up the beat, basically just use live and use your stories on your Instagram to record the whole process, document everything. But then the cool part is there's a little button at the top of your screen once you make a story that you can actually save that story. That way you have it for later. Well, what you do is, as you're compiling the song, recording it, going through the whole process, get these little 15-second video clips, and what you can do is save it, and then actually later upload that to a highlight, which if you don't know, a highlight is something that's on your main page. And basically it's any stories that you want to last longer than just the 24 hours. You can actually save those to a highlight, which then is right above your actual feed. and basically people can just scroll through and then they tab through it. It acts just like a regular story. It just lasts there until you delete it, as opposed to only lasting the 24 hours. So instead of worrying about getting this like super high-end, well-produced YouTube documentary around each song, you could actually make like a mini documentary, because you could even add like the GIFs, you could add text over the videos, you could add filters. You can do so much on Instagram already. You can literally make a mini documentary, save it to your highlights, and now that's another opportunity for people to check out your music and the process of you creating whenever they want. Like, that's something that's just always going to start getting views. You don't have to worry about promoting it, because it's literally right there on your Instagram page. And then the last slide of the, mini documentary could be like, hit the link in my bio to check out the full song, or hit the link in my bio to go check out the music video. But you only do that after you give them all those little teaser clips. So now by the time they get to the end of that little mini documentary, they're like, oh my god, like, I want to check this out. Like, this looks really cool. I like the process that they went through creating the song. The song sounds fire, all the little snippets I heard, so let me go check it out. They go hit the link in your bio, and boom, now you got another listener. Alright, so that is number 1, and number 2 is live listening parties and mini documentary series on your highlights. And now the third way is you can do shout out for shout outs with other pages that have similar, fan bases as yours. And now, this is kind of a hairy area. Some people don't necessarily want to go the shout out route and everything like that, but it is totally worth it if you're doing it with people that are in the same fan base as you. Meaning, if you make music that's similar to Young Thug's, and you were on Young Thug's radar, and you could reach out to him and be like, hey, why don't you do a shout out to me on your Instagram, and then I'll do a shout out to you too. Like, maybe you guys have a similar number of followers, or maybe you have something you could leverage to get him to want to do that for you as well. But it works if my music is something that Young Thug's fans would listen to. It doesn't make sense if I make music like Young Thug and then I reach out to Logic and I'm like, yo Logic, share my music on your page. Because then it's like, yeah, he may have a couple million followers that may see it and may go check it out, but the chances of them clicking on my music is way less likely because they're not my ideal fan base. So by me going to someone like Young Thug or Gunna or Lil Baby or Lil Keed or somebody who's in the same vein of music that I make, and I get them to shout me out, now people who like that kind of music are gonna be like, oh, well, I like this kind of music and this guy has, pretty similar music and it's super dope. Let me go see what he's about. And you can reach out to plenty of different people and ask for shout outs, or you could even pay for shout outs. And now, they are actually, like I said, if you target your audience well enough, they're a great way to grow your Instagram, because when someone else suggests you or recommends you or tells people to check out your music, believe it or not, people are more likely to go do that than if you were to promote your own music. So by getting people to do shout outs for you, then you also get your name put into places that you may never have had your name thought of even being put before. And then you can also use that as a way to help your friends grow and to do that for other artists as well. You can offer shout outs, like maybe you have a big Instagram page and you know that there are some artists that you're really trying to help put on and everything like that, or maybe they reach out to you. You can do shout out for shout outs, or you could even make a little bit of money and do shout outs for people. Now, there is kind of a gray area. You don't want to do that too frequently, at least shouting out other people if you're promoting your own music, because then it can kind of get a little bit confusing and you can kind of water down your message and the promotion of your own music by doing that. But by getting your own name shouted out and your own profile shouted out, I highly recommend doing that because it's a great way to get in front of audiences that you never would have been in front of before. Alright, and the last way that I want to talk to you guys about how you can promote your music in a non-traditional way on Instagram is by using your little bio section as like a mini blog. Now, blogs are not dead. A lot of people think like blogs aren't around anymore, like people would rather watch a video or check out a picture, like nobody reads. But believe it or not, people still read, and when I go to a person's profile, I read their bio so I can get a better understanding of who they are, what they do, maybe a little bit of insight into their personality. But a lot of times I see artists will just put like, I don't know, like some random words there, maybe their artist name, like a check out my music, stuff that's really uninteresting and doesn't really give me any more insight into who they are as an artist or what they do or what their music sounds like or where they're from. Really, it's just random words or emojis or, something that has to do with a meme or like inside jokes. That stuff is okay, but it's like you could do so much better if you use that little bio as almost like a blog write-up. Tell people a little bit about yourself. Maybe you're the type of person who is a huge anime nerd or a skateboarder or you like to play guitar. Put that in your bio because there's more to your personality than just the music that you make. And when you start to show people other aspects of your personality, they're going to want to connect with you on a deeper level than just with the music. And that's what you really want, because the music is just like the first thing that we want fans to connect with. Ultimately, we want fans to connect with us as a person, because that's when you can really start to branch out and have a YouTube show or merchandise or a podcast or so many different things beyond just being a musician. But use that bio to tell people about yourself. Give them insights. Give a little bit of a secret exposure into yourself. Like maybe tell them something that people wouldn't know just by looking at your feed or just by looking at your stories. But by being specific, by being original, by being creative, and by being personable, when you write that bio about yourself, you're going to give people a reason to want to scroll through your feed, a reason to want to click the link that's in your bio, a reason to want to check out your stories and the mini documentaries that you've made in your highlights. Give people a reason to want to check you out. Don't just type your name and then rapper, because that is super generic and super boring. So that is 4 different ways that you can promote your music on Instagram. That is not traditional, that is irregular from what most people are doing. Like I said, I don't see people doing these all the time, and I'm hoping that you like I said, I don't see people doing these all the time, and I hope you take advantage yourself and start to promote your music using these methods, because you will see a return, you will see more likes, views, comments, and engagement, which is what we all want, because that ultimately moves us from being a rapper that has a hobby of making music into a full-time career, making music, touring, making music all the time, and just living the life we want to live. If you guys want more information on how to market yourself through Instagram, or how to connect with fans, or how to just promote yourself in the best way possible, go to musiccultmarketing.com or hit the link in the description below, and you'll find out how you can go from ground zero promoting your music to the next level and turn this music into a full-time job. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.